The following program was produced by the United States Courts.
Senior United States District Court Judge Donovan Frank presides over a mix of civil and criminal cases in St. Paul, Minnesota. As a boy, he learned the virtues of hard work and treating everyone with compassion and respect, regardless of their background. Throughout his legal career, Judge Frank has been attuned to the needs of people with disabilities and committed to ensuring everyone has equal access to justice. As a Minnesota state judge, he served on task forces to address violence against women and racial bias. Judge Frank is serving justice in his courtroom one day at a time.
Believe in yourself and don't let anybody tell you differently, and be the person that you want to be.
All rise. The United States District Court for the District of Minnesota is now in session. The Honorable Donovan Frank presiding.
May I be seated? Thank you.
Donovan Frank's pathway to the federal bench starts in Spring Valley, Minnesota, population 2,479. As a boy, he might have dreamed of working the land like his father, who dropped out of school in the 8th grade to help on the family farm. His father owned a TV and appliance store and always extended a helping hand to others in the community and in his own family.
My dad had a developmentally disabled cousin named Dutch. He said, Donovan, he has the same hopes and dreams as you do. We're going to include him in everything that we do. I think that had a much bigger effect on me than I understood it.
In high school, Frank's teacher thought he was vocational school material, but Frank applied to Luther College, a competitive liberal arts school in Iowa, and he got in.
My parents were there all the way saying, you can do this. I graduated from high school in 1969. Well, those were kind of some really big-time protest days, both because of the civil rights movement, the Vietnam protests. I started reading these things and said, I've decided I think I want to be a lawyer, and I think it's called a Save the World complex.
At Luther College, Frank was active in student government. During his senior year in 1973, he helped lead the takeover of the school administration building.
We were protesting for more student and African American involvement. The newspaper articles and TV said they seized the building for 2 days, but they didn't damage anything and they cleaned up before they left.
Judge Frank's worldview expanded when he spent his junior year abroad, studying in England. He and his Luther College girlfriend, Kathy, got married after graduation. Frank enrolled in law school at Hamline University in St. Paul. He excelled academically, but substance abuse threatened to derail his marriage and his dream of becoming a lawyer.
I often tell people today I drank more in my first 26, 27 years than most people drink in their whole life. When I came back from my junior year abroad, even though I did well, I didn't see that I had any problem.
But there was a problem. Kathy Frank forced the issue and left home to live with her sister. It was only then that Frank reached out to a pastor who was a family friend for help. 24 hours later, he was in treatment. Donovan and Kathy Frank have been together now for more than 40 years, and Judge Frank has been sober all that time.
I really feel that even though I'm lucky enough to be straight and sober and taking things a day at a time, I do not take it for granted. I think it made me a better person. It made me a better lawyer, better judge.
In 1977, Frank graduated from law school third in his class and took a job as a prosecutor in northern Minnesota. In 1985, at the age of 32, he became a state court judge. When his father arrived at the swearing-in ceremony, he pulled his son aside to have a private moment with him.
My dad was still alive, and he read the oath. He read my oath I was going to take. And he, I'm sorry. And he said, you make a promise in a few minutes on this oath to treat everybody with kindness, respect, and equality, no matter what. I said, Dad, that is my oath, and that is how you raised me.
Judge Frank has always given back to his community as a mentor for school children and people with special needs, and as a voice for access to better treatment for drug and alcohol dependency. He took the federal bench in 1998. Judge Frank continued to educate the legal community about people with disabilities, ensuring that everyone has equal access to justice.
What I learned as a young child, no matter what somebody's background is, what their intelligence is, what their education or lack thereof is, no matter what, people can tell when you care and you're listening.
Once in a 6-day federal civil case, heavy in documents, Judge Frank allowed a blind woman in the jury pool to serve.
When the trial's over, you bring the jury back to your chambers and ask them if they have any questions and chat with them and thank them. The foreperson said, "Judge Frank, we can't believe that the rules allowed you to permit a blind person to sit on our jury. We were so wrong. She saw things, Judge, we didn't see. We were a better jury with her than without her. We had no idea we were carrying around these stereotypes all these years." I'm a pretty average bloke. Each of us in life has a lot in common. When you extend that helping hand, an unintended benefit perhaps is that you set examples for other people. And you can see the shock in some people's face. If you could read their mind, they'd be saying, "He's a federal judge and he grew up there and had a dad with an 8th grade education. And so maybe we should listen to him after all."
Donovan Frank has now been on the federal bench for more than 20 years. In 2016, he became a senior judge in the District of Minnesota. His courtroom in St. Paul is just a little more than 100 miles away from where he grew up in Spring Valley, and he still carries its small-town values with him every day.